If you want to get a job in sports analysis, then you really do have to stand out.
Gotcha.
I've said this before in many videos that a degree is simply no longer enough. So you do have other options to kind of go that next level up. So you do have the master's degree option. You also have going out and getting an experience with an internship. But one way you can do this and put yourself above other people is to actually create your own portfolio of work. I've received messages with questions on LinkedIn asking basically, what do you mean by a portfolio of work, or how do I get started, or what kind of things can I include? So hopefully this video today helps you with those questions and you can get started creating your own content and actually standing out from the crowd in order to help you get the job that you really want. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say is to choose a topic that interests you. So if you are going to be creating a portfolio of work, the chances are you're doing this in your own time. You know, you might actually be working another job and doing this on evenings and weekends. So you do really have to pick something that you're going to enjoy. By all means, have a browse on Twitter and LinkedIn and see what other people are doing to get inspiration, but don't just copy what they're doing. You know, you want to stand out, you want to do something different and potentially something that's not been done before. So maybe you want to specialize in doing analysis and reports and things for your own team. You know, if you find that that's lacking online, you can't actually find much content on it, by all means go ahead and pick your team. But do consider that you need to pick something that you're going to be able to manage in terms of getting the relevant content and actual resources for that. So for example, let's say you support a team in the conference and you've got no way of getting footage of that team. You're probably going to struggle to create content with it. So just do bear that in mind as well. But you know, you can really niche down. So maybe you could pick something, I don't know, let's say, you could focus on doing analysis on all the Brazilians that are playing in the Premier League, for example, or all Scottish players that are playing abroad, for example, or all a particular position, left backs or goalkeepers. You really niche down, do something that interests you, something that's maybe not been done before, and see if you can make it kind of interesting and make it stand out. Okay, so the next thing I'll say is start simple. So and I have mentioned this before, when you kind of venture into the communities on Twitter and LinkedIn in terms of football analysis, you might get overwhelmed. There's some really, really good content on there, but don't think that that needs to be how yours looks to start with. Obviously, those guys that are putting those content out started in the same position as you at some point. So don't be afraid to start with simple things and then build upon them as you kind of learn more skills. And I say everything doesn't have to be data driven. It can be videos, it can be match reports, etc. So I would say start simple and get inspiration from others, and then just as long as you're improving yourself over the time period and you're building up your own kind of portfolio of content, then you're going to basically do yourself no harm at all. Okay, so I mentioned it a moment ago, and that is Twitter and LinkedIn. So you need to get yourself on these platforms. So obviously you may already have a Twitter account for your own personal thing that you mess about with your friends or whatever. Get yourself a proper one, set up a new profile and have this dedicated to your sports analysis or your sports kind of industry work that you want to kind of put out there and share. So Twitter and LinkedIn are the main ones. So LinkedIn, obviously you can detail all of your previous job history, the roles that you've kind of done, the experiences that you've had, but you can also obviously link work on there. And also as well, very importantly, you can connect with other people that are in roles that you potentially are looking to try and get into in the future as well. So definitely get on those two, LinkedIn and Twitter, ask questions, connect with people, network, and basically just get yourself intermingled. And obviously while you're doing this, your content will be ticking along as well. So people will start to notice what you're putting out, as well as obviously you seeing what other people are doing as well. So very, very important, LinkedIn and Twitter, get on there and start networking. Okay, so before I move on to the next point, I do want to quickly ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You know, consider giving the video a like, leaving a comment below to say hi, or even if you have any questions. All of that kind of does help the channel to grow. So if you are finding value from this video or any of the other videos on the site, and then there's kind of link down below in the description as well, please do consider. Say it doesn't cost you a penny, but it does really help the channel out. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to say is to mix it up and get creative. So what do I mean by that? So firstly, mixing it up, I mean exactly that in terms of the types of content that you're putting out. So when you're on the likes of Twitter and LinkedIn, you might notice that people put out data visualizations, they put out these fancy graphics, infographics, they put out, you know, videos with illustrations on. There's a whole range of different pieces of content that you can create. And I think by being open-minded to do, you know, at least have a try at the different things is going to broaden your skill set. So when you first begin, you might simply just do a match report. It could just be on a Word document or a PDF, for example. So you could start very simple with that. You could start putting screenshots in there of team shape, for example. Again, you don't need software to do that. So in terms of the content can kind of be, what I'd say, a range of different things. So you've got your reports, your spreadsheets, your videos, your illustrated videos, and all of that sorts of opposition reports, etc. So there's a load of things you can do, mix it up, pop a load of things out, and also it'll help you to kind of see really what you enjoy doing. And again, you'll start getting better and better at certain skills and start to find interests in particular things as you do more and more of them. Okay, so the creative part was actually down to the software and tools that you use. So I did actually have a message from someone that said, you know, how do I do work in my own time, do my own stuff if I don't have, you know, I haven't got any software licenses or anything. So just get creative. And what I mean by that is you don't need expensive software to create your own content. You know, there's videos that you can download for free. You can rip them off YouTube, for example. You can find games, you know, you can ask people for copies of different games. It doesn't have to be the most up-to-date games. As long as you've got some footage, you can do some work. So you can simply screenshot things from this. You can use free tools to cut things out. You can even get an in-play license for yourself for less than, you know, a Netflix subscription. So there's not really that much barrier to entry. So even if you've got no money at all, you can actually get started. So I think don't let it be a case of, oh, well, I haven't got the expensive software that the clubs have, so I can't do it. That's not true. So you can definitely get started, mix it up, get creative, and basically just get going. Okay, so the next point I do want to say is don't be shy, afraid, or embarrassed. So I've said before this already, you're going to be on those platforms and you're going to be networking with people. So, you know, there's no point in doing all this work. Maybe at the start you kind of don't put everything out, you know, until you're comfortable, but you want to be getting this work out and you want to be getting feedback on it. So obviously people will then start to notice you and see the work that you're doing. Maybe you've picked a very special niche that someone else finds an interest in and you can connect that way. So I think it's very important that you put the work out there. The work that you do right from the beginning is not going to be amazing. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't matter. It's about consistency and building up your skills as you go along. So definitely don't be afraid. Share your work, comment on other people's work, maybe ask some questions, and maybe you can even do some collaborations with other people that are doing a similar thing to you. Okay, so just wrapping all of this together. So obviously this content that you're creating, you might have a mixed bag of reports, videos and presentations, etc. So you're going to want to put this somewhere where you can easily share it. So you can attach certain documents and files to your LinkedIn profile. You can also link it on your CV as well, which is very important. You can do this via a QR code or something like that, or even have a Google Drive account or something where you can point people to take a look at your work if they choose to do so. So yes, not everyone will look at it, but it's there if someone does look at it, and it puts you ahead of somebody that doesn't have their own pieces of work. So very important. And again, it all kind of comes together. So you've got the accounts on the Twitter and LinkedIn, you're constantly sharing, but you also want to have basically a library of stuff that you can kind of go back to and build upon. Okay, so that's it for this video. So hopefully that was helpful. So you can now go away and at least begin to start creating your portfolio, or at least have an idea of what you want to do, and then maybe make those steps very, very soon. So if you are looking to stand out, a portfolio is an excellent way to do so. So thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel and give the video a like, and have a great day.